If you've been feeling off lately, like low energy, bloating, fogginess, hormonal, maybe that heaviness or stiffness in the body, it could be connected to the liver. The liver affects our energy, our digestion, our skin, our detoxification. It is responsible for a whole lot of things. In fact, it was my liver that kind of led me into holistic health and learning more about the body and holistic health. So today I'm going to share my story and kind of what I've learned to tune into in my body and some of the things that have helped me navigate my situation over the years. When I was 12 years old, I had a liver tumor removed and I was left with a 17-inch scar that lines my entire rib cage. And with all that scar tissue, I ended up developing a lot of digestive issues. And when I was about 30, I started having just a lot of issues, and I thought I might have another liver tumor. And they found that it was gallstones. So, and I wasn't eligible for the simple laparoscopic surgery because I had all of that scar tissue already in that area. So that really set me on a path of studying detox and how the liver works and nutrition and just all of the different things. And I actually never did have any surgery. I still have my gallbladder. So I am not a medical professional and this is not medical advice. I'm just sharing from my own perspective and things that have helped me navigate this situation over the years. The liver is kind of a big deal. It has like 400 or 500 things that it does, duties that it's responsible for in the body. It processes everything we eat, drink, and absorb through our skin. It filters the entire blood supply every 3 to 5 minutes. So imagine that all of the blood in our bodies is filtered by the liver every 3 to 5 minutes. It processes and breaks down excess hormones and helps clear them from the body. It produces bile for digestion. And it's just working constantly for us. And it's really important to support the liver. Chronic disease is the leading cause of illness, disability, and death in America. And I feel like this is just a really important but often overlooked conversation. So here are some signs that I have learned to tune into that are signs that the liver might be needing some extra support. So number one is your digestion, bloating, constipation, unusual cravings like craving junk food or foods that aren't maybe the best. And then any right side discomfort in the body. So this could be, first might start in your liver area. The liver is really large and mostly on the right side of the body. So it could be tenderness in that area, but it can also kind of impact your hip, your shoulder. Any discomfort on that right side could be indicating that your liver might need a little bit of extra love. Hormones is another one. So if you're still having a menstrual cycle and you have heavy PMS or hot flashes, stubborn abdominal weight, and blood sugar swings. Another one is our skin and our energy. So, the liver, if it's backed up, if it's not flowing properly, these toxins are going to try and escape your body in other areas. So you might see things showing up in your skin, like acne or rashes, or just dull skin, or dark circles, or fatigue or brain fog. And then relating to mood and stress, if you're feeling irritable or if you're waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. In traditional Chinese medicine, that's a time for the liver to regenerate, or just kind of feeling emotionally overwhelmed. So let's touch on some of the things that stress the liver. Number one is processed foods. There is a lot of non-food food out there. Let's just say that. Number two is seed oils. They seem to be in everything, which is why I cook everything from scratch, and we really don't eat out very, very rarely because the seed oils just seem like they're in everything. Number three is excess alcohol. Number four is medications, including over-the-counter medications. So I was on birth control pills for about a decade, on and off. I was on birth control for about a decade. Acetaminophen is another one that is really hard on the liver. Then we have fragrances and chemicals and our toxic personal care products. So it's kind of shocking, some of the ingredients that are allowed in these things that are sold to us, but we really have to be diligent about that. The next one is chronic stress. You know, when we are chronically stressed, we are creating an imbalance of our hormones, and we're producing more, you know, adrenaline and cortisol, and those are necessary, but not to live in that chronic stressed state constantly. And then parasites like liver flukes can also overwhelm the liver. So we have a pretty toxic world, and the liver has to filter all of that. And it's not to be doom and gloom. It's just to, you know, with awareness, we can change, right? So some of the things that have helped me the most, number one starts with food, eliminating processed foods and seed oils. It's why we don't eat out. It's why I make everything from scratch in my kitchen. We eat whole foods. We try to grow and raise as much as we can. And then including bitter foods like, you know, dandelion or, you know, different green foods, colors, right? Citrus foods are really good. Beets, they have that beautiful bright red color. I focus on nutrient dense foods like oysters, livers, sardines, really giving superfood nutrition to my body. And Ningxia Red, this is a juice, superfood juice we get from Young Living, and it's got that beautiful red color to it, lots of high antioxidant stuff. And then really just tuning into how different foods affect your body. There's, you know, I can eat sourdough bread, but I can't eat breads and grains and a lot of that kind of stuff. So just really paying attention to your body and what your body is telling us. And becoming a label reader. I was really surprised when I started realizing that we have food in our country and ingredients in the food sold in our grocery stores that are banned in other countries. And, you know, you hear a lot of people that go on vacation to Europe and they eat all the bread, all the pasta, and they don't feel sick. But when they eat it here at home, they do. And so that's just, you know, it's unfortunate, but the reality is you're the gatekeeper and we have to be our own best advocate. The next thing is to reduce our toxic load. Again, I was shocked when I realized the ingredients and the chemicals that are allowed in products sold in the United States versus other countries where these things are banned. So I use a plant-based cleaner for my house. I've eliminated fragrance. That's kind of one of those, you know, sacred things that they get to have all of their proprietary ingredients in there, and you don't know what fragrance is. And then the last one is learning to use natural remedies and avoiding medications, including over-the-counter medications, because those things are so hard on the liver. And then, you know, the personal care products, like things that we put on our skin. The skin is a carrier, not a barrier, because everything you put on the skin gets into the bloodstream and needs to be filtered out by the liver. So really finding clean products to use in your personal care is very important. So let's talk about supporting those detox pathways. So number one is hydration. Make sure you are drinking enough water to really help flush things out. And that water should have minerals and electrolytes in it. In the holistic world, disease is kind of considered to be rooted in two things. One is deficiency. Your body is deficient in minerals or nutrients, and the other one is toxicity. And they kind of go hand in hand, because if your liver is backed up, then it's not flowing well. So nutrients are not flowing to the cells and the waste is not being carried out. So making sure you're drinking enough water and getting enough minerals. And the next one is sweating. So I, especially during the winter months and the cooler months, I like to use a sauna several times a week, but really moving your body and getting that sweat going, right? And then the last one is regular bowel movements. If you are eating 2 to 3 times a day, ideally you are pooping 2 to 3 times a day. It's really important. And if you're not eliminating well, you're not going to feel well. So some of my favorite liver support tools, number one is the liver and gallbladder flush. It is not fun. It's the whole olive oil, lemon juice, Epsom salt cleanse. I'm not going to elaborate on it here. I did make another video about that and I will link it in the description, but that cleanse is what I did when I was told that surgery was my only option. And I've done it dozens of times over the years. It's not super fun, but it is very effective. Some other gentle things that I like to do for support is castor oil packs. I like to use a wrap. I'll make another video on castor oil packs, but I use a wrap that I just tie over my liver, and I put essential oils and then go over top of that with castor oil. And I will just wear it in the evening for a few hours while we're relaxing and getting ready for bed. And that is just extremely helpful for the liver. Then there are supplements that I like to use to support the liver, like TEDCA, ox bile. There's one called Liver Tone that I like to use, dandelion, milk thistle, slippery elm. There's lots of different, herbal things that can help support the liver. Sulfur zyme is another one that I like to use on a regular basis. And I kind of rotate through different things. You don't want to overwhelm your body, but, and then citrus and citrus oils. So like adding, lemon to your water, or I like to use citrus oils and I might apply them over my abdomen, over my liver area, or I might put it in a capsule and take it that way. One thing to know when you are using citrus oils topically is I will usually do it at night because they are photosensitive. So you do not want to apply a citrus essential oil to your skin and then go out in the sun. And then the next one is coffee enemas. Again, that could be a whole nother video of its own, but coffee enemas are very supportive of the liver. It helps get directly into the liver and help flush things out. And then another one, and this is a big one, is regular parasite cleansing. Liver flukes, can really kind of gum things up. And I'm doing a parasite cleanse right now, but I routinely do parasite cleanses just kind of as a general tune-up maintenance type of a thing. If you have pets, there's parasites all over the place, right? And none of these are magic fixes. These are just supportive tools that I use just kind of on an ongoing basis, rotate through them, right? Just to help me feel better. And then the last one is emotions and stress. I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough. And we have a pretty stressful world that we live in. We have a lot of responsibilities. And in traditional Chinese medicine and other ancient cultures, they recognize the association between emotions and the different organs and how stress affects the body. So, if you think about it, when you're feeling stressed or anger or any of these things, we tend to kind of tighten and tense our body. And if you think about it from a perspective of flow, when you're tightening your fascia or you're tightening your body, things are not flowing and it creates patterns in the body over time. So making sure to find time to do things that fill your cup, do things that you find joy in or that give you a sense of purpose. Forgiveness and release are really good daily practices to get into, whether you're forgiving yourself or someone else. That's kind of a gift you give to yourself is forgiveness. It's not about releasing somebody else of whatever it was, but it's just letting go. It's just a letting go of it and allowing flow to come back into the body. And then the last thought is no is a complete sentence. I think a lot of times we overpack our schedules. We're doing all of these things. We work, we volunteer, we have families, we have all of these things. And a lot of us in the Gen X, we have, our parents are starting to maybe have some health challenges and we have kids and grandkids that still need us. And so really making sure to prioritize where your time and energy goes, and make time for the things that do fill you up. It's really about becoming more in tune with your body. Listen to the signals that your body is giving you, and taking small, consistent steps in that direction. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave me a comment down below. I will leave you the links to these other videos I mentioned, and I will see you in the next one.